Tonight, what we are doing is we're doing a simple food combining webinar. I'm going to share my screen with you. Hello, Paul and Candy Watkins. I'm going to share my screen with you, and I'm going to go over just some simple food combining so that we know how to do that. Because one of the most important things in Shibboleth is just being able to learn which foods go in which categories so that you can put the right categories together and have a meal that controls insulin, I will try to keep a watch on both the Zoom room and the Facebook group. It's a little bit easier to do the Zoom room, and here's why. Because it is not delayed. So Facebook is a little bit delayed, I think, because they like to watch and read what you say and make sure you don't do anything weird. Looks like in the Zoom room I have Donna and Elaine and Susie. How are y'all doing? Are you new to Shibboleth or are you here for a refresh? Let's see. Hey, Kim Tilford from Roswell and Paul and Candy from Dalton and Christy from Athens, Tennessee. Awesome. Well, I'm glad y'all are here. And Donna is in the Zoom room and she is new, and Susie is wanting a refresh. All right. How about you, Elaine? Hey, Nicole. How are you on Facebook there? Yeah. Nicole, you can hop over to the Zoom room if you want to. It is easier because then I can see your comments live. The Facebook ones are just delayed. But yeah, I just saw somebody do a little like button. If you are on Facebook Live right now, do some hearts and some loves and some likes. Do you know that Facebook puts your video in more people's feed, the more interactions that it gets? And interactions is those little hearts and those little likes and comments and all of those things. So if you want to help a friend out that may need to see this video tonight, just do those little hearts and likes for me. Okay, and Elaine over in the Zoom room is new. Awesome. Well, I'm glad that y'all are here. So this is day 2 of your 7-day fast track. I just want to explain to you how this week works. See, every single Sunday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we start off a brand new week with a program overview. So Donna and Susie and Elaine, those of you that are in the Zoom room tonight, did you watch last night's program overview? Because if you didn't, I'd like for you to also go back and watch that, because tonight's information builds on last night. Now, you can listen to tonight and put it all together, but it's important that you listen to both, okay? It's very important to listen to both. And Christy is on here for a refresh. Awesome. Okay, yeah, thank you, Susie. Yeah, and Donna, please go back and look at that. And you know what? I forgot to record it, so, but if you go into the new member fast track group on Facebook, you can find it there. It's there. It's from last week, or there's a live in the silver level group too. Also, if you follow Kim Danke on YouTube, they pop up on there. And another place that you can follow me would be on The Shibby Show. The Shibby Show is all one word squeezed together on Instagram. I'm on there. And then if you also like the Shibboleth public page, I go there Monday through Friday before 8 a.m. with a daily devotion and kind of a little way for us to hold each other accountable in doing this. Oh, thank you. I like my shirt too. It's so soft and it's got long enough sleeves to kind of keep me warm, but then it's got 3/4 sleeves. So it's letting my arms breathe, but still keeping me warm. Hey, Kristen. Kristen is one of our workers in the Shibby Shop, the Kennesaw Shibby Shop. We're so happy to have her. Okay, so what we're going to do right now is I'm going to share my screen with you because I'm going to look at a website. And if you are in the Shibboleth New Member Fast Track group, you will also be able to have this because I'm going to be sending that out in that group. If you're not in that group, feel free to ask to be in that group. If you are in the group that is called the Second Chance group, please know that you don't need to be in both groups. You don't need to be in the new member fast track group and the Second Chance group. They are exactly the same group, exactly the same. So somebody just started following me on Instagram. I saw that pop in on my phone. So maybe somebody heard me say that and just went and followed me on Instagram. Way to go. That's awesome. Okay. Hey, Jason, how are you? The code for Zoom, I don't know right now. Nicole, you might just have to watch it on here. It was an invitation in both the silver level group and in the new member fast track group and in the Second Chance group. So there, it's in all of those. And hey, Billy. Okay, so what we're going to do tonight is we're going to go over this fast track website. And as we come across a new category of food, I'm going to read the foods that I have listed in this website, but I'm not going to reread them over and over and over again as we come to them. I'm only going to read the ones that are new each time. Then we're going to talk about things that you can put together and why you'd put them together in the way that we suggest. But that's why watching last night's video is extremely important, extremely important. The other thing that I really need you guys to do is I need you to watch all of the 14 little fast track videos. It takes less than 1 hour to watch them, and you can take a test at the end and earn a badge, which is good. And after that, you're going to move over to the original daily doses. And after you've watched those videos from Travis and you've taken that test, if you're a brand new person, you have a limited dashboard in your account. But once you've taken that phase 1 test and passed that test, your whole dashboard will open up to the entire website, which is going to be a good thing, okay? But we like for people to walk through these steps to learn what they are doing. And please forgive me if I sniff. I am having an allergy problem. Here in Georgia, we are having pollen galore. So it is just affected me today. And I just took an Alavert a few minutes ago to try to avoid any sniffling. But if you hear that, that's because pollen has gone crazy. Okay, so one of the things that I said last night in that video is this. In order to learn how to combine foods properly, you need to learn the 7 categories of food. And then you need to start categorizing the food that you like by learning, okay, I like lima beans. Those are a category 3. I like avocados. Those are a category 6. So you need to start putting together the foods that you like along with the categories that we categorize them in. So there's 7 categories. I'm going to go over those real quick. We got category 1, lean protein. And I'm going to go right to category 7 real quick. Category 7 is shellfish. Guess what? It's really just a lean protein. So category 1 and category 7 are the same thing. They are lean proteins. Then we've got a category 2, fibrous carb. Category 3, energy carb. Category 4, protein plus fat. Category 5, fruit. Category 6, superfood. So we have 7 categories, and what I highly suggest that you do is write down all the foods that you like, then look them up in the food library, write down what category they're in, and then you can look at the combination chart and you can see what you need to pair together with the foods that you like. I really like for people to strategize their meals in that way based on what they like. But this is also a little website. I mean, this website I'll send to you, and you can use this too to put things together. Okay, so let's just read over some category 1 lean proteins. If you'll notice right here, it does say that you can have 2 to 8 ounces, 2 to 8 ounces. So let's read over some of those. Egg whites. Egg whites are an extremely popular category 1. Fish, chicken breast, turkey breast, pork tenderloin, boar's head turkey, boar's head chicken breast, boar's head London broil. The reason it's all boar's head is because it's a very lean cuts. Low-fat cottage cheese, fat-free cottage cheese, Greek plain yogurt, Hebrew National 97% lean beef frank, 1 link, and 96% lean ground meat. Those are all some suggestions of category 1. If you are in the Zoom room, please type in if you see something on that list that you like. And if you're on Facebook, please give me some hearts. Please give me some hearts. Yes, yes. Egg whites is an extremely good category number one, Pat's saying on Facebook. The other thing is egg whites can be used as a freebie as well, because as Travis says, nobody ever pushed back from the table saying, man, I've been eating too many egg whites. Okay, so Bo Schaefer is on here again tonight. Bo, good job. Yeah, fish. Okay, and Susie says she likes egg whites and fish. Awesome. So if you're in the Facebook group, give me some hearts if you see something that you like on that list. So you can eat a category one lean protein by itself if you wanted to. It does not have to be combined with anything. But look right here, this got a plus sign and a flame. That flame indicates that this is excellent for fat burning, the way that we have this combined right here. And you're not doing any addition. Just because you see the plus sign does not mean you're doing any addition. It just means that we're putting these things together. Now, you're going to have, this is showing you that you can have a category one by itself. You can use the proper oil. Our number one recommended oil for you to use is 100% MCT oil, MCT oil. We personally like for you to use the one that is from the Shibboleth store. It's the Zero Drag MCT oil. It has been maximized for cooking. It's the only one that I use. It's the only one I've bought since the beginning. I don't plan on buying another one, and here's why. If Travis has determined that it's the best and that's what he wants to sell in his store, that's the one I'm going to use. I'm just going to trust what Travis says. He's been doing this for 20 years. I have no reason not to. I also have noticed that the MCT oil that we have in the store, the Zero Drag one, has 100 calories per tablespoon. And a serving is a tablespoon. And some of these other ones that I've seen out in stores, they have 130 calories per tablespoon. Now, I don't know what makes the difference in that, if it's the part that it's maximized for cooking or what. I don't know. But this is the one that I would suggest that you use, the Zero Drag one from the store. If you do not live near Dalton or Kennesaw and can't go to the physical store, please just know that you can order online. And if you are currently taking notes of things that you need to order in the store, I'm going to tell you possibly some other things in a minute that you might want to get from the store. So you can go ahead and write down the Zero Drag MCT oil. The second oil choice that you could use would be coconut oil. Coconut oil is 60% MCT oils. Then you could use ghee butter, which is spelled G-H-E-E. That is a clarified butter. Once butter, actual real butter, has been clarified, it has more MCTs in it. So that's why that is able to be used. A lot of people use this. Let's say they're making something that needs a butter flavor, they'll use that for that. And then you can use hemp oil, and you can also use 0-calorie cooking spray. Any of those things are fine. So, but MCT is thermogenic. Something that's thermogenic is going to heat up a little bit, and it's going to help you burn some extra calories. So this is why we suggest MCT. And if you have familiarized yourself with the combination chart, then you're going to know that there is a red, a yellow, and a blue column. The red column is the blowtorch column. And the reason that it's the blowtorch column is because it has the addition of MCT oil in there, which is helping you to burn a little extra calories. And that's why that one is the red column on the left-hand side of your combination chart. And then it's just saying here that you could have some condiments, okay? Now, I didn't go over this last night in our overview program. I usually don't. I usually save condiments for tonight. But condiments, you can use any 0-calorie condiment. But I want to go over the rule for condiments. First of all, if you look in the food library, there is a link to condiments. But not everything in the entire world that could be used for a condiment is going to make itself into that food library. So because there's so many things that you could use for a condiment, we just teach you the rules so that you know it. We call it the 5, 2, and few rule. So if, as long as you look at an item's nutrition label, look at the sugars. If it has 5 grams of sugar or less per serving, and it has 2 grams or less per serving of fat, so you're going to look at the sugars and the fat, then, and you're going to use less than 50 calories of it per meal, then you can use that as a condiment, okay? So let's say that you're standing in the store and you pick up a barbecue sauce and you go to your app or you go to your mobile friendly website and you look up condiments in the food library and you try to find that barbecue sauce and it is not in there. You are not finding it. That's when you're going to look at the nutrition label and you're going to look at the sugars and you're going to look at the fats and you're going to look at it per serving. So 5 grams of sugar or less, and it must be 2 grams of fat or less. And as long as you're not going to use more than 50 calories of that on a meal, then you're good to go with that item as a condiment. You can have up to 50 calories of condiments for each meal if you need or want them to. I'm going to be here to suggest to you that you be picky, be very picky with your condiments. And this is the number one thing. You know how a lot of times people are just used to slapping a piece of cheese on something? Sometimes you don't even taste the cheese. Be really picky with that. If it's something that the cheese is enhancing the flavor of it, then use it, okay? But if it is not enhancing the flavor of it, if you are finding, I'm not even tasting that cheese, leave it off. Save your calories for something better, or use a different condiment that you can taste the flavor of. Now, you can put more than one condiment in a meal. So let's say that you want some cheese. Hold on, my nose is starting to run. Let's say that you want a slice of cheese and you want some ketchup on something. So as long as they follow the rules, okay, you could do a combination. Maybe the cheese that you're using is 35 calories. Well, you would have 15 calories worth of ketchup to use to make it to that 50 calories. And you know, we don't do a lot of talk about calories and stuff in Shibboleth because we use the 2-hand rule. The 2-hand rule is you put your 2 hands together, you place it down over your food, and as long as you cannot see the food sticking out around your hands, then you're good. But we don't do a lot of calorie talk in Shibboleth until you get close to the end and you need to be righter and tighter with those calories to get those last few pounds off. But you do not want to just randomly use calories in condiments that are not doing you any favors. So this is why we start mentioning calories when we talk about condiments. See, the meals that we are putting together, see, chicken, it takes a lot of calories to digest that chicken. So you're burning calories, but it really doesn't take a lot of calories to digest some ketchup. Okay, so you just don't want to have a lot of extra calories on a meal that just are not important. Okay, so just keep that in mind. But if you want to use multiple condiments on an item, on a meal, that's totally fine. But I also want to point out to you that if you use 50 calories of condiments for every single meal for 7 days, let's do 50. 50 times 3 is what, y'all? Bo, I saw that. I saw you post something about making some barbecue sauce yesterday. Good job on making that sugar-free barbecue sauce. That's awesome. What's 50 times 3? Anybody? Anybody? Bueller? Yay! 50 times 3 is 150, okay? So let's do 150 times 21 because you could have 21 meals in a week, right? So I'll just tell you what that one is. We don't have to do the math on it. It's 1,050 calories, okay? So 1,050 calories that you could cut out if you chose to do 0-calorie condiments, which, by the way, there are a lot out there. The Walden Farms products, or maybe a little dusting of some type of spice or seasoning, that kind of thing. We have in 1 pound of fat, there's 3,500 calories, 3,500 calories. So if you are able to eliminate some of those 1,050 calories that you could have on your meals in a week, you see how you're going to get to that 3,500 calorie deficit sooner? Because in order to get rid of a pound of fat, you've got to be in a calorie deficit of 3,500 calories. So if you start to limit some of your condiments that really aren't doing you any tasty, if they're not helping you out with the taste, then why do it? But if it's necessary for the taste, then you're free to do it. So I'm just telling you to be picky. That's what I'm telling you to say. But let's read off some of the condiments that are here. Any 0-calorie condiments, obviously those are best. 15-calorie or less spices and seasonings, salt and pepper, 15-calorie or less coffee creamers, salsa, salsa, reduced sugar ketchup, mustard, hot sauce, Kraft fat-free mayo, and that is just a few. So there's a lot mentioned in the food library, and then now you know the rule, the 5, 2, and few rule. One way to remember which sugar or fat that you're looking for and make sure it has 5 grams of sugar or less, the word sugar has 5 letters in it. So look for sugar, make sure it's got 5 grams or less. Look for fat, make sure it has 2 grams of less per serving, and there you go. So you could take a piece of chicken breast, cook it up in your MCT oil, season it, and you've got an excellent fat-burning meal. So let's scroll down a little bit more. And I'm not going to spend as much time on this one because I've already talked about the oils, I've already talked about the condiments, but let's read over some things that are a category 7, it's shellfish. So it shows you there you can have 2 to 8 ounces of that. Crab, lobster, shrimp, scallops, oysters, mussels, and clams. All of those things are category 7. You can use the proper oil, put on the right condiments, and have a delicious meal. You can eat shellfish by itself, okay? And a lot of times people will use that ghee butter to make themselves a shrimp scampi. So, because shrimp scampi needs that butter flavor. So let's scroll down just a little bit more here. And the new item in this row is hemp products. Okay, so hemp products, I really like them. I just started getting into the hemp products, and I actually just sat down and ate a whole container of them the other day, just a little container. And then I asked Travis if that was okay, and he said no, that I really should be portioning it out. But anyway, they were so good, I just kept eating them. And it said 350 calories for the whole thing. I thought, that's reasonable if I'm going to have that for a meal. And he said, no, I should be using them as a component of a meal. I said, okay, but they were so good. It's my point with telling you this is that they were so good. Okay, so you could do hemp hearts, which are also hemp seeds. Okay, that's the seeds. Hemp flakes, very sweet hemp flakes. Those are the ones that I like. And the hemp protein powder or hemp oil. So those are some hemp products that you could use. So what this row right here is saying is it's saying that you can have a component, category 1 portion. You can do some hemp hearts or hemp flakes or some hemp product as a component of a meal. Cook it up in the right oils, put some condiments on there, and you've got a great meal right there. So you can do that. And then we're going to scroll up a little bit more here. And this one is the only thing that's changed here is that we added this category 7. So you can do your category 7 with your hemp products, cook it up in the right oil, put some condiments on there, and you have an excellent fat burning meal. So we're going to scroll up now. And the new item is right here, the category 2 fibrous carbs. This is kind of like where it's a hallelujah moment, all right? Your category 2 can go with everything. And I'm only going to read off the ones right now that are vegetable type things because those are the most important category 2s. But one reason that this program is so sustainable and practical and fun is the fact that we have breads in category 2. This is where everybody gets real excited. You don't have to give up bread in Shibboleth. In fact, it's brought bread back to a lot of people's life who had cut bread out thinking it just wasn't going to work. But a lot of times when people have to cut out some of the things they really like, they don't stick with something forever. And the best lifestyle you can do is one that's sustainable for life. Well, this one is. So we're going to go over some breads in just a minute that make into the category 2, but your veggie ones are always the best, okay? But you can use any of them. So it says on here, 1/2 cup to a cup. 1/2 cup is really kind of your weight loss measurement. You could go up to a cup once you get into maintenance. But I also want you to know that any of these things right here are also listed as freebies, meaning you could use them as a freebie. But what I don't want you to do with them is just pile them onto your plate in an eating episode, in a meal, and just overeat them. because that's also stretching our stomach out, and we're trying to get our stomach to not have to have that feeling of fullness before we stop eating. So use it as a properly portioned component of your meal. If 30 minutes later you are still truly hungry, you could come back and eat some of these, but as a freebie, okay? But not with your meal. Just do a portion of it with your meal. So broccoli, asparagus, squash, all squash, okra, green leafy vegetables, spinach, cabbage, cucumbers. I just saw the cutest little cucumber sandwiches the other day. Oh my goodness. Bell peppers, hot peppers, cauliflower, kraut, and dill pickles. Okay, so the fastest fat burning meal that you're gonna find is a category 1 or a category 7 combined with a category 2 cooked in MCT oil. So this right here, and you can kind of see down at the bottom of my screen that it's got the category 7 shellfish starting to appear. Those are your fastest fat burning combinations, okay? So you've got, let's just use chicken breast for example. You got some chicken breast, we're gonna put some broccoli on that plate with it, we're gonna cook that up in some MCT oil, and you would do about 1 tablespoon of MCT oil, all right? That's your serving. Now that's if you're cooking 1 piece of chicken. Let's say you're cooking for the family, you're cooking 4 pieces of chicken. You could use 4 tablespoons of MCT oil, all right? What I have to tell you about the MCT oil, for those of you that don't know this and haven't heard this yet, is this. It needs to be cooked, your food needs to be cooked, and you use MCT oil on low to medium heat. Otherwise, you'll set off your smoke detector. If you cook that on medium, like high heat, it'll set off your smoke detector, okay? And me just telling you that is, excuse me, I'm gonna blow my nose. You know, just the fact that I have to tell you that shows you that MCT oil burns up quickly. And this is why it is our preferred oil, is that it burns up like that. It has almost no propensity to be stored on the body as fat. Now, those of you that didn't watch last night's video, well, I'd love for you to go back and watch it because it's important. But an LCT is what we've probably been using. That would be a canola oil, vegetable oil, olive oil. Well, they take a long, long time to burn up, and it takes a lot of energy expenditure to burn that up. So that's why we don't use those oils, okay? We use the MCT oil. It has almost no propensity to be stored on the body as fat. Part of it's even going to be cooked up, burned up in the cooking process. And then what does make it into your body burns up quickly. Bo, I don't know about peanut oil. I'll have to look that up. If anybody else happens to be interested in looking up peanut oil and telling me, I will let Bo know. All right, I got some hearts on Facebook. Maybe some of you are going to look that up for me. Okay, so we have our 1 + 2 + MCT. Throw some condiments on there, and you can go from that. And then you have your 7 + 2 + MCT with some condiments. And then we're going to scroll down. But if you'll notice that this has the flame behind it and the plus sign, we're going to scroll right here. Look, the flame left. What that means is this is still great for fat burning. It's just not quite as good as the other ones. So right here, category 6, superfood. You've got your pintos in there. All of your dark colored beans are in category 6. So black beans, red beans, soybeans, peanut butter, nuts, and seeds are category 6. And most of your, just to help you familiarize yourself with what is in the categories, most lighter colored beans are in the category 3, energy carb, but there's a few that are a superfood because they have all the macronutrients in it. And that's what I'm going to explain next. It's how does something qualify to be a superfood? It needs to have all of the macronutrients in it. It would have water in it, it would have protein in it, it would have carbs in it, and it would have fat in it. So a superfood item has all the macronutrients in it. That's how it qualifies to be a superfood. So most of your lighter colored beans are an energy carb, but there's a few like garbanzo beans and northern beans and maybe a couple of others that are in there. That's why I was saying it's so important to start to familiarize yourself with what goes in each category, because there are some general rules, but as with everything, there's an exception here or there, and that's one of them. But all of your darker colored beans are going to be in your superfood. This is great for fat burning, but those other things that I mentioned earlier are better for fat burning. So what this is saying right here is you can have your superfoods with your condiments on there, and that would be a great meal. So you can eat superfoods by themselves. And it does give you a little amount right here listed out that you could have. Excuse me. Okay, so this next one is just saying that you can have superfoods with your category 2 fibrous carbs with your condiments and have a great fat burning meal. Now we're going to scroll down a little bit more and look at this. Category 4, protein plus fat. If you'll notice, this says 2 to 6 ounces when the others said 2 to 8 ounces. And that's because protein has 4 grams of sugar, not sugar. Lord have mercy, I'm gonna lose my mind because I'm about to sneeze. I don't know if y'all can tell my eyes are starting to squint up because I'm about to sneeze, but protein has 4 calories per gram. That's what I was trying to think of. It has 4 calories per gram, where fat has 9 calories per gram. So therefore, we have to eat just a little bit less in the ounces on the protein plus fat than we do with the other, because there's a little bit more calories in there. But we didn't take too many ounces from you. You've got 2 to 6 ounces rather than 2 to 8 ounces, okay? But let's look what's in this category. Whole eggs, all your cuts of steak are here. Pork ribs, beef ribs, turkey spam, pulled pork, beef brisket, 93% lean up to 95.9% lean ground meat, and turkey kielbasa, as long as 50% of the calories or more are not coming from fat. So, and you would put this with a category 2 and throw on some condiments, and you got a great fat burning meal. Now, I'm going to take this as a teaching opportunity. Category 4 can be eaten by itself if you need to, but I always just say eat that by itself in a pinch, because optimally you would eat this with a category 2 fibrous carb. Now, what you don't want to eat, and I find this just as important as telling you what you do want to eat together, what you don't want to eat with a category 4 is a category 3 energy carb, category 5 fruit, or category 6 superfood. You don't eat those with your protein plus fat. Here's why. Here is why. The protein plus fat, I'm going to smile real big about a protein plus fat. It's good. It's good for you. It's protein. And it's got some fat in it. But you know what? Fat is not a bad word. This is a good fat. Our body needs some fat for all of its functions and everything. So that it's fat in a food is not necessarily bad, as long as it's a natural fat like that. But it's all that man-made fat and things that aren't good for us. But this is no big deal. But where the problem comes in is what we have been pairing it with. Because, you know, people go to a fast food restaurant and they order a burger and fries. There's the burger. It's a protein plus fat. There's the bun. Well, that's a category 3 bun. I've never seen one that's not a category 3 bun. There might be one out there. I don't know. At a restaurant is what I mean. And you're having with French fries. Or you go to the steakhouse and you order steak and baked potato. That's where the problem comes in. It wasn't that you ordered the meat patty, and it wasn't that you ordered the steak. That wasn't the problem, because you got protein and you got a little bit of fat that was good for you. That fat's going to be used up as energy, as long as you don't pair it with those suggestions I gave, French fries and baked potato. But any category 3s, 5s, or 6s would do the same thing. So, but let's just imagine this. You've eaten that steak. There are fat lipids in that steak. So the fat lipids start roaming around in your body just as it does. But you paired it with a potato. So you ate the potato. Potato brings an insulin release. The insulin is going to go around, and because it's going to just do its job is to pick up fat and store it. We call insulin the fat bus, and it's a hormone. It's a growth hormone. The specific type of growth hormone that it is, it's a fat storage hormone, okay? And its job is to go around and pick up that fat and store it. It's just doing what it's supposed to do. But now that you know this information, if you'll pair that with broccoli or a side salad or a cauliflower or whatever other green, whatever other fibrous carb that the restaurant has, or you have at home if you're cooking it as a steak in a if you're cooking steak, you can not order it. I'm losing my mind. Category 2 fibrous carb, have that with it. You're not bringing the fat bus. So you've eaten the steak. Protein is good. The fat is just going to burn up as energy. It's not going to be stored as fat because you didn't release the insulin. It's almost like release the Kraken. You didn't release the Kraken, right? It's not going to come out and do damage. You have chosen to pair it with a fibrous carb instead of an energy carb. See, it's science. It really is just biology. So 2 of the most important things is to be in a calorie deficit, and we're doing that by portion control. And then we have got to also combine foods in a way that control insulin. That's actually number 1 over the calorie deficit, because most people in many programs, if they're trying to lose some weight at all, they know to get into a calorie deficit. Our program supercharges the whole thing by controlling insulin, and that is huge. It's so important. Okay, so we got a category 4 plus 2 with a condiment, and this is a great fat burning meal. Now we're going to scroll down just a little bit more. We have a new category right here, energy carb. You could use half a cup up to a cup. Half a cup is really your weight loss amount, and your half a cup you could use up to maintenance. But here's the thing, some people find out that they can't do half a cup of the energy carbs, otherwise the scale ticks up. So this is one of those things that you just have to figure out for yourself once you get into maintenance, okay? Now remember, go back and watch last night's video to learn a little bit more about maintenance. Let's read these things. We've got all potatoes are in here, oatmeal, weight control oatmeal, long grain brown rice, quinoa, lima beans, peas, tomato, onions, carrots, whole wheat pasta, whole grain pasta, okay? So let's say, and I always reverse engineer this, if I want to eat a category 3, because in my mind, the category 3 is what determines what else you need to put on your plate. If you're going to want a category 3, then I go, okay, I want to eat 1/4 cup of lima beans. So I'm going to put a 1/4 cup of lima beans. I'm going to put my lima beans right here, okay? And then I'm going to put maybe some broccoli or green beans right here. And then I'm going to have a piece of chicken or turkey breast or something else right there. I cover it up. I lay it down. I portion control that. To eat a category 3, if you want a category 3, it must be eaten with a category 1 or a category 7, because they're the same thing, and a category 2. Must be eaten with a category 1 or 7 and a category 2. What's happening is the lima beans, or whatever category 3 you chose, is going to bring a little bit of an insulin release. But think about this. You had a 1/4 cup of it. You didn't bring giant doses of insulin for your body to deal with. It was just a little bit. And you decided, because you know this information, you paired it with some turkey breast and some green beans. So what's happening is the protein in the turkey breast and the fiber in the green beans are going to help neutralize the insulin release that's coming from the carbs in the lima beans. Again, scientific. So you just kind of put all that together, and you have got a properly combined meal that is going to control insulin. It's going to control insulin. So I hope this is making sense to everybody. Let's scroll down one more time here. So we've got our category 1, our category 2, and we've got a new category right here. Category 5, fruit. All fruit is in this category. We got berries, apples, oranges, grapefruit, plums, grapes, bananas, peaches, pineapple, kiwi. So all of those things listed right there. So let's talk about fruit real quick. In In Shibboleth, there are two modes, weight loss mode or maintenance mode. There's only 3 differences between those 2 modes. One is how many holidays you get to use in a month. Watch last night's video for that. 2 is how you eat fruit. 3 is your mindset, okay? But let's talk about that fruit one. Fruit is good for you. We don't want you to not eat fruit. Fruit has lots of phytochemicals in there from all the beautiful colors in fruit. We call fruit an antioxidant carb. Antioxidants are good for you. They go in your body and pick up free radicals, and free radicals are damaging to our cells. So fruit's good. So we're not trying to eliminate fruit from your diet, okay? But what we do want you to realize is that in weight loss, you are needing to treat fruit differently. Fruit in weight loss must be combined properly. So if you want to eat some fruit, you need to have it with a lean protein and a fibrous carb for the exact same reasons that I just talked about in category 3. You're going to let the protein in the lean protein or shellfish, and you're going to let the fiber and the fibrous carb neutralize the insulin release that comes from fruit. Okay? Excuse me. And so that is the way you're going to do that. So a category 1 plus 2 plus 5 works. But once you get into maintenance, if you would like to eat a serving of fruit by itself as a snack, you can do that. It's in weight loss that fruit must be combined properly for you to still have a perfect day. And all these combinations that we've gone over tonight are going to give you a perfect day scenario. So let's scroll down a little bit more and have a look here. Now, remember, I promised you I would go over some breads that are in category 2. Now, obviously, less bread is best, okay? But the reason that these breads qualified to be in the category 2 is because these particular breads, the way that they are made, they have enough fiber in them that your body sees it more like a green bean than it does a bread. So these are some of the ones. Now, there's over 60 approved breads or bread type items in the food category. Now, one of my favorites is the Sara Lee 45 calorie delightful. I like the multigrain flavor. You could also use, I like the Olay Extreme Wellness High Fiber Tortilla, which is on this list. You could also do the La Tortilla Factory 50 calorie tortilla, Healthy Life bread, Nature's Own double fiber wheat bread, Bran Crisp bread. That is something you need to order from the store, the Shibboleth store. If you like a dry cracker, then you need to order those. They've got a pumpkin flavor, a sunflower flavor, a raisins and honey flavor. So those are all the flavored ones. And then they have original flavor. Then they have 2 gluten-free. They're a little bit drier than just the regular. So if you're not gluten-free, I would not necessarily order those that way. But I really like the sunflower one and the pumpkin one. And Travis says this about the Bran Crisp. That's his #1 bread type item in the category 2. He says it's like running a Brillo pad through your intestines. That if you have any undigested food matter in your intestines, that Bran Crisp bread is going to get it out. So you might want to add that to your order from the Shibboleth store list. And Healthy Life hot dog buns. And just to let you know that Healthy Life, I believe it changed the name to Lewis, which is the manufacturer. And then you could do Thomas Light 100 calorie English muffins. Those will work. And then you have approved sweeteners, stevia, Splenda, monk fruit, xylitol. So you could do an artificial sweetener if you wanted to. You could do a 100% natural sweetener if you wanted to. Here's the thing about Shibboleth, and this is what I love about Shibboleth. Shibboleth does not discriminate. We teach you how to do the program. You choose the products that you want to buy. So if you are, I like Hormel turkey spam, or I like grass-fed, grass-finished beef, and anywhere in between, we got you covered, okay? We meet anybody's budget and anybody's, what they're willing to buy, whether you're willing to do Splenda or you just want to do some stevia. It doesn't matter. You get to choose that. We just tell you the things that are approved. We don't promote any of it. We tell you what is approved. You get to choose what you use. I like that. Let's look at approved beverages. Obviously, your water is important. You have got to get in at least 64 ounces of water. That would be 4 of these. 8 of them is a gallon. So if you're going for a gallon, that's actually important to try to go for a gallon. The reason that is, you're going to stay much more satisfied. Your tummy and your mind are going to be more satisfied, so you won't be thinking about food as much. So it is a trick to help you get over any behavior modification things that we need to be working on. And then we can have any 0-calorie beverage, unsweet or approved tea. You could do coffee, but only with approved sweeteners. Then let's look at some cheese. Well, obviously cheese is used, one, as a condiment sometimes. 2, it can also be used as a category 1 or a category 4. So if you're using it as a component of a meal, like a category 1 or a category 4, you could have more than 50 calories of it. But if you're using it as a condiment, you would only want to do up to 50 calories of it. The fat-free feta cheese, Kraft fat-free cheese, Borden fat-free cheese, Cabot extra light cheese, Laura Land fat-free cheese, Kroger brand fat-free cheese, Lifetime fat-free cheese. Now, Travis likes that Lifetime fat-free cheese best. You just order it from the website, not our website, the Lifetime website. My favorite ones that I find in stores is the Borden fat-free cheese. That doesn't even taste like fat-free cheese. So I really like Borden. And then I like the Cabot extra light cheese because it's a block cheese. And whenever I want to make myself a fibrous carb salad, I take my Borden fat-free cheese and I shred that over the top, and it's really tasty. Okay, so let's look at some lean proteins in the form of a milk. You could do 8 up to 16 ounces. 8 ounces would be what you would use if it's the component of a meal, or maybe you're making a perfect pairing out of it, or you're completing a meal replacement. And if you're just drinking it just as the meal, you could use up to 16 ounces. What we would suggest that you use is fat-free Fairlife milk, Kroger Carb Master milk, and hemp milk. Now that the reason that you would use those is because those have enough protein in them, okay? And a lot of times people use milk for cereal. Well, cereal, even the best kind of cereal, is still a little starchy. You have to have enough protein to offset that starchiness. That's why these are approved. That Kroger Carb Master milk, if you happen to have a Kroger near you, is delicious. You can use that as they've got an original flavor, but then they also have vanilla flavor and chocolate flavor. So I love having those. I really, really do. So then let's look over here at some breadings and some flours that you could use. Coconut flour, hard but quick flour. That's something else you could order from the Ciabola store, hard but quick. If you'd like to dust and flour chicken or okra or anything like that, or you like to make biscuits or pancakes and things like that, get some of that Carb Quick. It is considered a category 2 fibrous carb, and that is a hallelujah moment right there. But what I don't want you to do is use the recipes on the Carb Quick box. They did not take into Ciabola rules into account when they put those recipes on there. Use the Carb Quick recipes from the recipe library. You could also use Bob's TVP and almond flour. Then here are the best cereals that you could use for the beginning. Kashi Go Lean Original, K's Natural Cereals, which we do sell in the Ciabola store. The French vanilla is so good. It is so good. And I think the apple cinnamon is really good too. I haven't had it, but I hear a lot of people talking about that. And then High-Low Nutritious Living. I am not going to reread those condiments because we talked enough about condiments in the beginning, but we're going to scroll down right here and look at restaurants. What I find to be most important for a new person getting started when working around the restaurants is to go to the restaurant guide, open up the restaurants that you visit the most often, click on the items that you would be interested in ordering, and read the description of how to order it. That is the most important thing, because just because it says quarter pounder in there doesn't mean, oh, I can order a quarter pounder. It means that you could order a quarter pounder, but you eat it on your own bread. And therefore, you'd want to know that before you go to McDonald's and order that way. So you could take that in what we call your survival kit. Okay, so you want to know that. So that's why I always tell everybody, familiarize yourself with what you like to order ahead of time before you get to the restaurant. Now, if you're at a sit-down restaurant, you have time to sit, make choices. But you're at a fast food restaurant, you feel that pressure to make a fast decision. So it's better to look ahead of time and know those things. So this is just some lists right here of what we got. I am going to read over a couple right here. Chick-fil-A. You could do 8 to 12 grilled chicken nuggets with a side salad, or you could give up 4 grilled nuggets if you want 8 fried. I'm always willing to give up 4 nuggets to get my fried. And you order it with a side salad instead of French fries, obviously. And those side salads good. You can order the light Italian dressing there. I still don't drown my salad in it. I just drizzle that on the top. It just gives you enough flavor. You could also do the grilled filet, and you could do the fried filet or the spicy fried filet. The thing that doesn't work at Chick-fil-A are their strips. I don't know why, but they don't. So at a Mexican restaurant, a bowl of chicken soup, no rice. 3 soft chicken tacos, use your own tortilla. Here's that 1/4 pounder that I mentioned, on your own bread. This is a real popular one. Wendy's, a small chili over a side salad. Burger King, grilled chicken with side salad. And I'm going to kind of stop right there, but I am going to talk about this family style restaurant. Honestly, any restaurant that you are in, as long as you order a meat and a green, you're covered. You're covered. Because at a restaurant, you must consider all meat as a category 4. Even if at home you cooked that, it was going to be a piece of chicken, it would have been a lean protein. At the restaurant, you don't know what oil they cooked it in. So, but they have basically turned a lean protein into a protein plus fat because they cook some fat into it. And I hope that makes sense to you. Y'all have any questions? I'm losing my people on Facebook, my Zoomers. Let me see how many Zoomers I have left. Oh yeah, all of y'all, good. So any questions in the Zoom room or anything that you want me to show you on the website, because I am here to do that for you. And you know what I'm going to do, Bo? I'm going to look up peanut oil and see what it says. So I just clicked right there. I'm going to click on Resources, Foods, and Recipes. I'm going to click on my food library. And then right here in this search button, I'm going to type in peanut oil and see if it pulls up that way. The fewer words, the best, but I want to try to eliminate all the peanut stuff because a lot of foods have the word peanut in it. Okay, it didn't pull up peanut oil, so it's probably not approved. So, Bo, I'm going to tell you where to ask this. Are you in the Facebook group called, Shibboleth Fixed It, Bo? Okay, I'm going to add you right now. Those of you that are new, when you go into the new member fast track group, I want you to scroll all the way to the bottom. I want you to scroll all the way to the bottom, because if you go all the way to the bottom, once you've gone all the way to the bottom, I want you to work yourself through the posts, okay? Because these posts that I've made are important. So what I did, Bo, was I asked this and then I tagged you in it. So when Kim Shibboleth answers that question, you'll be able to see the answer, okay? Okay, Donna, so that Publix fat-free milk does not have the protein that it needs. I would just stay away from milk altogether. So here's the thing. The reason that those other two are approved is because they have enough protein. So see, this is the thing that was new to me about the milk, is this. The milk, we're not just looking for fat-free. That's really not even, it's part of it. But it's the fact that those others have protein in it, added protein. That is the key. And that was kind of, oh, okay. All right, Elaine is asking, hemp flakes, can they be used on cold food, or they can, oh yeah, you can use them any way you want to. Elaine, they can be used on hot food too, like put them into some soup, yeah. In fact, the other night I was having, what did I have? I had this little stuff right here from the Shibboleth store. This is chicken flavored bouillon, and it had some little green things in there, and it reminded me of egg drop soup, which, by the way, this is a freebie, and it's a very savory freebie. So if you're wanting something at night and you want something that tastes good, then you could do this. But I thought I also could just do fat-free chicken broth, and I thought, ooh, throw some hemp flakes in there, and then I have the little green things. So yeah, you can do that. Yeah, Susie, right now you might just have to leave that bread off, but let me just tell you, that's not going to be a problem. Bread is not best, especially for your first 7 to 10 days anyway. So you might just have to leave it off. But my favorite bread that I have found is that Sara Lee bread, the Sara Lee 45 calorie delightful. I think it has the best flavor to it. Yeah, if bread and milk are impossible to find, just make friends with some other things, because guess what? Bread and milk aren't your friends anyway. Guess what? It's not bought up. All of the cucumbers and the the cucumbers and the bell peppers and the spinach, that's all there. So make yourself a beautiful fibrous carb salad and all of that. I'm going to stop this share right here. Actually, is there anything else y'all want me to show you on the website before we hop off? If anybody's curious about anything, because I can show you. Do y'all know where to find the videos that you're supposed to be watching? If you don't know where to find the videos that you're supposed to be watching, you click right here on videos and print material. And yeah, the phase 1, okay, so we don't really have any videos called like, well, we do have some phase 1 videos. See right over here? There's phase 1, phase 2. I want y'all to know this. Phase 1, we're really going to live in phase 1. Phase 1 is just learning the program. Phase 2 is changing your mindset to lifestyle, and you also will learn more about foods that are in the middle aisles at the grocery store and frozen foods that work and things like that. All right, so Bo looks like you're on phase. You looks like you're doing the daily doses. It must be on number 18. That's awesome. That's awesome. The very first thing I want y'all to do is I want you to watch the new member fast track videos, okay, and earn these. Watch these. All 14 of these little videos are going to take you less than 1 hour to watch all of these. Then after that, take a test. See right down here at the bottom, it says after you've watched all these, take this test. And then watch your daily doses second. That's your second thing. Then after you've watched the daily doses, there's your test at the bottom. After you have, oh, good, Bo, good. After you've taken both of those tests, if you're brand new, your dashboard will then open up to its full capacity. All right, so that's why you want to work yourself through those. Also, if you've got, see these blue links right here? These blue links are very important. This is some of the stuff that you're going to want. I would open this up. Everything that you can get your hands on from first word to last word, read it. It's important. It's important. The only one that you might not want to print on here is this phase 1 program book. It is 66 pages long. So unless you want to print out 66 pages, I wouldn't print that. But we do have that book for sale in the store. So if you wanted to do that, it's $25, but with your member discount, it would be $20. So you could do that. But these little links are very, very important. So make sure you familiarize yourself with that with all of that. And in the, I'm going to go over here to the new member fast track. If you're in the new member fast track group, a video comes out every single morning, Monday through Saturday. It's a video of me showing you how to use the website and giving you a little assignment to do for the day, okay? I would love for you to do the assignment and comment right there. Comment right there. That way we know that you are doing that. But watch how if I scroll all the way to the bottom here, here's a meal plan. You could look through this meal plan. There's a simple grocery list. So there's some important things, but I keep this group really cleaned out. if it's not in this group, I mean, you don't need it. I get rid of everybody's posts every Sunday. So it's only the things that you need to help you get started that are in here. So go back all the way to the bottom of this group and work yourself through this group like it's like a textbook or a workbook. Go back through, okay? And then there's some pictures and things. Look, that was me. Bo, I would upgrade to gold. It's $25 one time. And as long as your silver level membership never lapses, then your gold is good. It gives you gold level daily doses. And it also teaches you about intermittent fasting, divine days, and something else. I can't remember. So there's a picture of me. This was 1 year apart, same event, 1 year apart. So I just kind of put some pictures in there because, you know, when your Facebook pops up your memories and you're much thinner than the year before, it's like, oh, I can make a side by side of that one. And then look, here's all my favorite meal replacements that are in the store because somebody asked me to do that. So I've listed those out there. So just go all the way to the bottom of that group and work yourself through that. All right. Okay, well, I hope that y'all have a great week. Please let me know if you need anything at all. We are here. The groups that you need to be a member of, the Shibboleth Silver Level group, Shibboleth Fixed It group. The reason you'd want to be in the Fixed It group is because the Fixed It group is where Kim Shibboleth, not this Kim, a different Kim, monitors that group. Her last name, when y'all see people on here that are named Shibboleth, like Joni Shibboleth, Missy Shibboleth, and there's a Joan Shibboleth. They're different people. Amy Shibboleth. These are employees that are using an alter ego to work the business, that do their job. All right. So when you see that, that is an actual person, but their last name is not Shibboleth. They're just using that. But you need to be in that group because in that group, Kim Shibboleth will let you know if you have any questions about whether something can be approved or not. If it's not in the food library and you want to know about it, take a picture of the front of the item and the back of the item and post it in the Shibboleth Fixed It page. Well, I hope y'all have a great night, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.